Welcome to Gas Station Business 101 podcast. I'm your host, Shabir Hossain, and this is episode number 30, the Big 30.
Welcome to the one and only Gas Station Business 101 podcast, where you can learn all the secrets about how to start and operate a gas station business successfully and make money. This podcast is brought to you by the good folks at GSB Academy Publishing Company. And now, here is your host, Shabir Hossain.
Hello there. Once again, welcome to episode number 30. First, I want to rectify something I said in last episode, which is episode 29. If you listen to that episode, I mentioned at the beginning and probably at the end that I created a Facebook group and I wanted everybody to join so we can start having conversation about anything under the sun about business and any problems that you're facing, and if there is something I can help you with. And in doing so, I recommended everybody to join a Facebook group, and I bought a domain name which was shabironfacebook.com. And I mentioned that if you type that in URL, that would direct you to my Facebook group. But after I published that episode, 3 days later, I received a letter, also an email from Facebook's legal department. And in that email, they asked me to remove that name because Facebook, the word Facebook, was inside that domain name, which I did not realize at the time, but they were right that I should not be using a copyrighted name inside a domain name that I bought for myself. So what ended up happening is I had to cancel that domain name. That domain name will no longer work. If you listen to episode 29 and you type that in, which is shabironfacebook.com, it will not take you to my Facebook group. Instead, I bought a domain name under just my name. And this new domain name is shabirhossain.net. Somebody took the .com, so I had to buy the one that says shabirhossain.net. And now, if you type that in, it will take you to my Facebook group. Or you can go to my blog, and there are many links everywhere. You can just click on one of those, would take you directly to my new Facebook group. And I wanted to thank every one of you that joined this new group. But if you haven't joined yet, I strongly urge you to go and join. That way, any question you have or any concern you have, any comments you have, you can just send it there directly and I get it right away. Last week, I also sent out an email newsletter with 3 things. And the email read that I'm giving you a heads up on 3 items or 3 things. First topic was about the Facebook group that I created and I wanted everybody to join, and that's when I rectified the name, but I didn't buy the shabirhossain.net yet, so I just said join my group and I gave out the link. The second point I mentioned in that newsletter was about my second book just got published and I wanted to announce that to everybody. And third, I wanted to notify everybody about the previous episode, which was 29, where I gave out all the detailed information about the business that we talked about in episode 23, where I was hired to consult about a business, if the buyers should buy it or not, and the business was losing money, and I recommended that they buy it. And I wanted to give you a heads up after 4 months of operation, they were making money, so I published some P&L in previous episode. So anyway, so I know you've heard that episode, but in case you haven't, you can go back and listen to the previous episode, which is 29, and that's where I gave all those details. But if you want to get the real picture, you need to listen to episode 23 first and then 29. But I also wanted to urge you, all of you listeners, if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, this is the time to do it. You can go to gasstationbusiness101.com/subscribe, or you can go to my blog at gasstationbusiness101.com and hit the button that says subscribe. The reason is I am about to send out quite a bit of free stuff through my newsletters, email addresses. So pretty soon, hopefully next week, you will be receiving a free ebook, which is all about passive income. And that is the episode we'll be doing today, which is going to be all about passive income. But the book will have much more detailed information in the event you are interested in learning about passive income. The book will be much more in detail than this episode, because this episode only allows me to talk for about 55 minutes. But if you want to learn more in depth, you need to look into that book, and it is free. So don't worry. All you need to do is go to my blog and sign up, or you can just type that URL, which is gasstationbusiness101.com/subscribe. Now let's jump right into this episode. And again, this episode is all about passive income. So the heading of this episode, or the title rather of this episode, is 8 passive income ideas you can try and make money with. This is how I do it. Meaning, I am doing some of these already. So if you ask me a question, I should be able to answer because I'm doing most of these already myself. But without further ado, let's get right into this episode. Since this episode is all about passive income ideas, first, I need to define what passive income really is. Well, passive income is a way to earn money where you're not actively working every day like you are in your gas station business, for example. It is something that you set up once and see that work produce income or fruit year after year or month after month and time after time, often without you doing anything more. So it is more like an hands-off approach. You do the hard work first, but then you sit back, relax, and enjoy the fruit. Well, that's the ideal situation. It doesn't happen this way often. There are times you have to go in and put in a little bit more work or tweak it a little bit, but it will not be where if you do not do this today, it will not make any money tomorrow. So it is, in a sense, more passive than what we do in gas station business every day. For example, if I don't buy inventory, if I don't place an order, if I don't schedule employees, if I don't make the deposit to the bank, this store may not run next week. In other hand, if you follow the ideas that we will be sharing, they're not as actively involving as a gas station business. So, as I said, we're going to share 8 ideas, and the very first one is book publishing. I got involved in book publishing back in 2012 when I was working on my very own book. I started learning the fascinating world of book publishing and started realizing how some people are making quite a bit of money expressing themselves. And that's how I looked at it, because I did not get involved in book writing to make money. I just wanted to share my ideas because I thought there is something I have in my brain that I needed to share. I needed to put it in a piece of paper. And that's exactly what I did. But in doing so, in that process, I started learning a lot about book publishing. Now, you may ask how a book publishing can be a passive income. Well, let's look at it. The book that I have on Amazon about gas station business, I wrote that back in 2012. And since then, I only touched it once, which was last year, to fix some errors, some spelling mistakes, and some of the charts and tables that I had, I needed to update those. And those were the only reason I had to fix those and then publish that book as the second edition. But other than that, after 2012, the book was not touched at all. But the book was selling every month. It wasn't making me a rich man, but it was something of a passive income. Few $100s a month is, I think, a good passive income. And that's exactly why I thought about sharing this idea with you, because I think every one of you have something inside your head that needs to be on a piece of paper. Meaning, we all have ideas that can be a book, that can be shared, and people will enjoy reading those. Now, the problem is, you may say, I'm not a writer. Well, I was never a writer. I'm still not a writer. And you don't have to be a writer to write a book. You're not writing the best-selling novel. If you have something to share, just put it on a piece of paper. It may be, at first, very crappy, meaning your grammars may be terrible, your spelling mistakes may be terrible. Like I just admitted that the first edition had quite a bit of errors in there. Because as I said, I'm not a writer. Even though I hired an editor, but she did not do a good job. And at that time, I did not even realize it. Well, she did fix some, but not all. So over the years, over the 3 years process, I started learning and reading my own book and pointing out different things. And again, I started getting emails from people that are saying, hey, this book has certain errors, and they pointed those out to me. And I thanked them for it. And I made a list of all those and rectified those. And then I hired another editor and sent it to her. And then she reviewed and she fixed a few more. So it became the second edition. I know we all are very terrified about making mistakes. But also remember, if you do not put your pencil to the paper, those thoughts will never come out. So it is time. If you have something in your mind, it doesn't have to be a novel. It can be something that you know how to do. For example, let's say you're passionate about bass fishing and you think you know a lot more about bass fishing than the next person. By all means, write that book about how to bass fish. And then some of you may be very passionate about baking or cooking, whatnot. And if you know something, put that on paper, share that with people. You may not realize it until you write that book, that there are readers out there for every type of book that is out there. Now, as I said, all you have to do is write something, then hire somebody to edit, to fix your errors, and even do the layout. Now, I will share some links where you can go and hire people to do all this online. You don't have to find anybody locally. Unless you know somebody locally, you can go online to sites like freelancer.com or odesk.com. There are many sites, even fiverr.com. And don't worry about writing any of these down. They will be on my show notes. And if you're on my newsletter, I will be emailing you that ebook where all these links and resources are available. So all you have to do is click those links and get there. So as I said, if you write something, first you need to hire an editor. And most of the time, this editor can also be the person that can do the layout, meaning how the book should flow. So they can rearrange the information you provided and they will make it a layout. They will categorize it in chapters. Or you can do that yourself. You can create the chapters and all that, and then they will do the final layout, including a table of content, including your first couple of pages where you say Privacy Act and Copyright Act and cover design and whatnot. And now, as far as cover design, there are many sites that you can hire designers, anywhere from $25 to $30 to about $500. Depending on your budget, you can go to 99design.com or fiverr.com and hire a book cover designer. So again, if you write, let's say, a 40-page book, 8.5 by 11, an editor may charge you anywhere from $200 to $300, depending on how much work they have to do. And then a cover designer can charge you, let's say, anywhere from $30 or $40 to about $500. So you can get a book published under $1,000. most of the time. And once you learn how to do some of these things after maybe your first book, like the second one that I did not have to spend too much money because I knew how to do the layout. I know how to do the chapter. I know how to do table of content and all of these. And these are the things that you learn on the fly, meaning as you go along, you learn on the way. So maybe your second book, you can get it done for $300-400, and the third would be $200-300, and the fourth, you may just have to pay to somebody to do a cover design. But when you receive this book, this book that I will be emailing you, you will see that I didn't spend any money on anybody in this book. I did everything by myself, even the cover design, meaning I did it myself. But if you compare it with any professional cover design, you will see that it's not as professional looking as the ones you see on Amazon. But hey, at least I tried. But this is how you learn, by trying and trying again. So again, if you have an idea in your head, put that in paper and let it flow, let it be out, and let people read what you think of or what your great idea is all about. Okay, now time to talk about how and where to publish once you do write your book. There are many places that you can publish, and these are mostly self-publishing, meaning you're not paying a publisher to publish for you, nor you're taking your book to some name brand publishers like Simon & Schuster or anybody like that and asking them to publish your book. And those are the traditional publishing houses. But lately, the newest trend for indie authors like yourself or me, for us, it is best to self-publish, meaning we don't have to go door to door or send the manuscript to 20 different publishers and wait 6 months for them to send me a letter saying, sorry, we cannot publish your book. It is very simple nowadays. There are many ways you can get your book out to pretty much every platform. For example, the biggest bookseller in this world is Amazon. You can go to Amazon and publish your book in electronic format, meaning as an ebook. Or you can publish that same book as a paperback. Both are available for free at Amazon, and I will have those links in the show notes and in that free ebook. Best thing is, as I said, you don't pay any money upfront, but they do take a cut from every copy that's being sold. Well, they take a percentage, so it can be as high as 50%, maybe more, depending on the size of your book. Let's say you wrote a book that is 70 pages long and has no picture, just text. The file size to download that book will be very small compared to, let's say you have that same book with 45 high resolution pictures. Then the file size become much bigger than the text file. So it will cost more to download that book, and Amazon will charge you for that download fee. So let's say your book was published at $2.99 and Amazon agreed to share with you 70% of that royalty minus the download expense. So if your book was only a half a megabyte, maybe Amazon will charge you 15 cents if anybody downloads that book. But now if that book was 10 megabytes, because of all those high resolution pictures, they may charge you $1 extra. So your profit may be cut by another $1 every time they sold that book for you. But remember, you did not pay a dime to publish that book on Amazon, and that book is published on Amazon worldwide, meaning anybody in Japan or India or in London, even in France, anywhere else, they will get to see the book and they will get to buy the book. So once you publish a book on Amazon, you will see that your book is being sold worldwide. Similarly, you can publish that same book on Amazon as a paperback. And there is another site you have to go to publish that book, and it requires a different type of cover design. That's the only difference you have to spend money on, which is 2 different types of cover design, because a paperback book has a back cover, unlike the ebook, which only has a front cover. So you have to get 2 different cover design done. And that's fine because your book will be selling as a paperback as well, and they will share that revenue as well. So you will have two different income streams from the same book. Now, to sell your book on Sony, on Apple, and everywhere else, you have to go to another site where they will publish that book in every other platform. And there are sites like smashwords.com or draft2digital.com. And again, those show links will be available for you. So don't write them down. These are the two sites you can upload your book with your cover design, and they will publish it in at least 7 to 8 different retailers, including Barnes & Noble. So your book will be available everywhere else. But again, if you published with those sites, do not expect to go to any Barnes & Noble bookstore and find your book on their shelf, because these books will be available as an ebook and not as a traditionally published books. Because when you go to these stores, they only carry the traditionally published books that you see on their shelves. But if you go to their website, for example, you will get to see your book. So that's not a bad deal. And again, you will not pay a dime to publish these books on their sites. And every one of these will share revenue with you. It may be from 30% to all the way to 70%, but at least you will be getting something out of those sales. Second idea that I want to share with you is buy and sell websites. And as I said at the beginning, that I have done and I tried some of these ideas. Like, for example, the book publishing. I have done it and I'm still doing it. Now, this second one, buy and sell website. I have done that as well. I don't do that as often anymore because I know it requires quite a bit of time, which I don't have right now. So, but I will share the idea. So if you think you can spend and devote some time, it's a fun business to do. It works just like real estate flipping, meaning house flipping. We have all heard about how people buy houses and they do a little bit of repair or paint and then they sell it for a profit. You most likely know somebody who flips homes. Websites are intellectual properties. So they are properties that you can buy, and either you can hold them for a while, or you can improve some features and then turn around and sell it. But in order for you to do this, you have to be knowledgeable about this business. You can't just go and buy a site and hope to flip it very next day and make few hundreds or thousands of dollars. But I wanted to give you the idea, so if you wanted to take a look at it, you should be able to. The best way to look at it is by going to a site called flippa.com, flippa.com. In this site, you will see hundreds or thousands of websites for sale. And once you see those sites, there are so many statistics that they provide. There are many sites that they sell for 30, 40, 50,000, maybe 100,000, even $1 million. And most of these sites are money-making sites, meaning these websites make money for you. Just like a house. If you buy a house that's already been rented out, that house is giving you rental income. Similarly, a website can give you a lot of income from different things, from advertising, from sponsorship, and a lot of different ways. But when you go to flippa.com and pick out just a site to investigate, you will see how that site is making money. They publish all the information, like how many visitors that site is getting a month, how much revenue they're getting every month, and how that revenue is coming from or where they're coming from, and what are the expenses to run that site. A lot of people buy sites just to have an extra income. For example, somebody told me the other day that they bought a site for $30,000, and that website makes about $1,500 a month. So the argument was that he had $30,000 in his bank account that wasn't making any money for him. So he bought that website. Now he's making $1,500. But again, I just wanted to give you a word of caution that it is not as simple as it seems. Just because you have $30,000 and you buy a website doesn't mean it's guaranteed that you will be making that $1,500 for month after month after month. Because there are things that you have to do to that website. It's not very passive. If it's a website about information, you may have to add more information to this site for your readers to come back often. If it's a site that, let's say, you didn't touch anymore once you bought it, your readers may come back next month and say, hey, there's nothing new, so I may not come back here next month. Whatever it is, you have to keep an update. You have to keep that site updated with new information or relevant information and whatever else that site requires. So most likely you will have to employ somebody to do that, and that's an expense that you have to take off from that profit that you make. Plus, there are costs for web hosting. There are costs for, let's say, if it has an email list and there is a email service provider, then there is an expense for that. And if you're doing some other type of advertising through Google or anybody else, you have to pay for those expenses as well. Back in 2013 and 2014, I got heavily involved with Flippa. And there is not just Flippa. There are many other sites that buy and sell websites. But Flippa is pretty much the biggest one. But if you are interested in this, and if you go to Google and type in buy, sell websites, you will find at least 20, 30 more websites that do the same thing. I even saw websites for sale on eBay. So there are places that you can buy and sell websites, and you can find a lot of information, but do not believe every information that's listed. For example, in 2013, I bought a website for about $1,200 from Flippa, and that site stated that they are making about $75 a month ad revenue. Once I bought the site, in about a month and a half, my income went down to about $30. And the following month or the month after, I believe it went down to about 15. And I started realizing and learning that some of those traffic that the previous owner was bringing in was paid traffic, and I did not know anything about paid traffic. And most of you, I'm sure, is thinking, what is paid traffic? Well, if you have a brand new website and you want to bring hundreds of thousands of people to your website, you can use some keywords that you used in that website. Let's say the website is about cooking or a specific type of cooking. Let's say this website is about pound cake baking. You can use the keyword pound cake baking and run ad in Google AdWords where you pay, let's say, 15, 20, 25 cents a click, and you say, however many people come in, this is my budget, $300 a month. I want to pay to bring traffic to my site. Google, anytime people are typing those words anywhere, Google will publish your site pretty much on the top because you're paying them to do so. And that way, those people will click on your site, and your statistics will show that you have had thousands of visitors. And some of those visitors will click your ad and you will make money. But the problem is, if you spend $300 bringing traffic and only making $75 on ad revenue, then that's a negative cash flow. But some people do it for 2 months to sell a site for, let's say, $2,000 when they only spent $600 of ad revenue and made $75 times 2, which is $150. So they spent $500 and sold the site for $2,000 and made $1,500 cash. So that's a quick sell. But again, their reputation gets ruined, but some people do not care about that. So they will just make some quick bucks and move on. But if you do not know this, you may just think, hey, this is a very good opportunity. I can buy this site for $1,000 or $2,000 and make $100 a month. I got burned because I think I got greedy, and without knowing much about this, I just jumped right in. So even though it is a good business, if you can educate yourself and do a lot of research, you can buy maybe 1 or 2 and see how that goes. So this is, for me, it was a very eye-opening experience, and I have learned a lot, and I believe these are all very valuable information because I can use it in any other websites that I may create or I have already, and I can improve those. So I think it was an expensive lesson, but a lot of people make a lot of money with this information and with this business. Number 3 is buy and sell domain names. It's similar to websites, but little different. They're different in a way that just because you bought a domain name doesn't mean it will earn you money. But the way it works is, let's say the domain name started selling back in the early 90s to mid 90s. And back then, you could buy any domain name you could think of. Let's say back then you bought a domain name like finance.com or food.com or health.com. Just think of how valuable those would be, because these are the biggest websites you find nowadays. So let's say back then you bought a site which is health.com. Now I'm sure you would be able to just rent that name, not even sell, just rent that name for $5,000 to $10,000 a month. But for now, you're not going to be able to buy something like those names anymore. So nowadays, if you are looking to buy anything, it is best to keep an eye on some of the auction houses that sell expired domain names. There are hundreds of thousands of people all over the world that thought the idea of buying domains are a very good idea. So the smaller the domain name is, the more brandable it is. So let's say you can buy a domain name called abc.com or cvs.com or sex.com, 3-letter words. They may mean a lot for a company that stands for those 3 letters. It may not mean much to you. But if you would have bought some of these 3-letter domains, you most likely would be getting offers from all over the world right now for you to sell that domain or rent that domain. But similarly, since you cannot find a 3-letter anymore, you may not be able to find a 4-letter word anymore or 4-letter domains. But if you keep an eye out in the auction houses, where all these people that bought domains years ago, they have to renew that domain every year, and some people forget to renew, some people pass away, some people move on in their life. So a lot of people forget to renew those domains, and if you keep an eye out for those 3-4-letter words or these brandable domain names, you may see that these are coming up for auction. And don't expect to buy one of those for $10, but you may be able to get a good deal and buy one of those, and then you can rent it, you can sell it and make money. As I said, these are, again, like real estate. But domain is a little bit different type of real estate. Let's say you're buying land away from a town. So there is no demand right now, but the demand will come as the city grows and comes towards that land. Meaning, every city that expands, it expands outward. So let's say if you have some real estate 10 miles outside the city limit, in 20 years' time, that city will grow and your land will become more valuable. So as far as domain goes, I don't want you to wait 20 years, but the idea is if you buy a domain name that's not brandable today, it may be brandable 2 years from now, 3 years from now. One example, as I gave you, health.com. If you would have bought that domain name back in the 90s, you'd have made quite a bit of money right now. But right now, if you bought a domain name, besthealthadviceforyou.com, I'm not sure if that's for sale or not, but any variation of that you should be able to buy. It may not be brandable today, but it may be brandable 5 years from now. Or if you have an idea, remember I was talking about if you're passionate about cooking or bass fishing, brand something or buy a domain that talks about that, like bestbassfishingtools.com or bestpoundcakerecipes.com, similar to those type of things, and you can have your own website. That's another food for thought. Now, moving on to number 4, the biggest one, which is affiliate income. I believe I mentioned this before in one of those previous episodes that I will be talking about affiliate income. What is an affiliate income? Affiliate income is a referral commission, meaning if you recommend a product from Amazon and somebody buys that product, you get a commission out of it. Simple. Similarly, there are thousands of companies that give you the same referral commission. So let's say you become an affiliate for a gardening tool company and you are passionate about gardening and you have a website where you talk about how to garden different flowers and whatnot, and you recommend some tools. And if they your readers buy any of these tools by clicking the link on your website, you get a commission out of it. In my opinion, the best and the biggest way that you can make some extra money is by affiliate income. Not everybody will write a book. Not everybody will buy or sell domains. Not everybody will buy or sell websites. But I'm sure 90% of you can make a little bit of income by doing some affiliate sales. For you to make some affiliate income, there are some requirements, meaning there is something you have to do first. And the most important one is you have to have an online presence. You can sell it through your Facebook account, you can sell it through Twitter, but oftentimes you can have a blog and have some followers, some readers that will be interested in what you are talking about. And if you recommend something, they will be able to click on something that will take them to a merchant's website where they will buy something. As I said, the biggest example I can give you is Amazon. Anything you can blog about, from baking to bass fishing. Let's say, again, we're going to bring up bass fishing. If you are blogging about bass fishing and you said, last month you bought this fishing reel and the fishing rod that worked really well when you went to fish last time, and they were much easier to use compared to the ones you were using before. And here is a picture of it, and if somebody wants to look at it, here is a link they can see on Amazon. And let's say they follow that link and go to Amazon's website. And let's say they do not buy that fishing reel or the rod, but they end up buying something else. But since they followed your link, whatever they bought, they could buy kitchen utensils to, let's say, makeup. Whatever they bought, you will get anywhere from 4 to 6% commission just because they followed your link and bought something from Amazon. But for you to make that money, you have to sign up with Amazon's associate program, their referral program, which is free, doesn't cost you anything, but you have to have some type of business set up, probably an LLC of some sort. I'm sure you can do it with your social security number, but it is better to set it up as a company. That way, you run it as a business. I have it set up as a company, and I do make money, not with Amazon only, but few other companies that I'm an affiliate of. Another example, let's say you have a blog about finance, or you talk about finance and credit cards and how to pick the best credit card to have that charges you the lowest interest and whatnot, and you provide some links. And there is a link for a sign up for American Express cards. I don't know if they still have that referral program, but I know about a year ago, there was an offer for American Express that if anybody followed your link and signed up for a credit card with them, they would pay a referral fee of $100 each sign up. That's quite a bit of money. So if you have some followers that trust you, you can make quite a bit of money just by providing them with something valuable. But always remember this. This is the most important thing. Do not follow the money. Follow your heart. Meaning, if you're recommending something or if you're giving a link to something, make sure that link is valuable for your readers. Not because you make money. Make sure you don't need to break their trust. Do not, once you break that trust with your readers or listeners or followers, nothing else will come your way. So anything you refer to them, make sure you've used it or you've tried it and you know it's a good value for them. And I'm saying that because I know some of you may apply these principles and say, okay, I will blog about this and they can buy this. And again, if you're doing it for Amazon, I'm sure that there's no harm done with Amazon because Amazon is a trusted marketplace and they provide very good value for everybody. I buy a lot of things from Amazon every day. So if I'm following somebody else's link to buy those things, I will do so if that helps somebody else because I know that I'm not paying much when I buy from Amazon. Or let's say I need American Express card and I followed somebody else's link and they made $100. That didn't come out of my pocket, so I'm not going to worry about it. But again, if I provided them with a link for some company that's not up and up with everything, and they're just selling something that's not good quality, but I know I will be making $50 or $100 out of that sales, I will not do so, because I know that once my readers or listeners buy that product, they will be very disappointed, and I will literally break their trust, because they would think, why would she recommend something that wasn't good? So do not follow the money. Money will come your way anyway if you keep on providing good value, good content. Your readers, your listeners will help you with those, and they will follow your link, and they will buy things that are valuable, that are usable, and that can make their life easier. So just make sure that you follow that principle. One way people make money with this affiliate income is by building niche sites. Niche, niche sites, meaning a very targeted topic website, a website about a very targeted niche market. That way, you can target a very small group of people without doing very much advertising or backlinking or anything else, because you're picking such a narrow and specific target that maybe not very many people are doing that. And that's the idea you're going for. And again, let's say you have a website that talks about health in general, and your website is called healthforyou.com. You may be writing contents for years to come. Nobody will come visit you because it's such a broad topic. But let's say you are talking about how to fix the gout problem. You know, that health issue people have that's called gout, G-O-U-T. Let's say you're saying this 5 food that fix your gout pain. That's a niche topic inside a health topic. And if you do that, maybe you will get some followers pretty soon. And then you can recommend some products to them that are sold by Amazon or some other trusted retailers. And you can have Google run some relevant ads inside your website that will make you some ad revenue as well. Now, I know I'm getting into a lot of things that if some of you are not familiar with this, you're getting confused as far as what I'm talking about here. So I'm just giving you the seeds, planting these seeds in your head so you can think about this. And if you're interested, there are plenty of trusted people out there that I can recommend you to follow, and they will teach you how to do this. And if you want to learn a little bit more, as I said, my book will have a little bit more information about how and what to do. But if you need to have an online presence, as I said, first thing you need to do is have a website. And that way, your ideas gets published every day or every week or every month. So you're getting yourself out there slowly but surely. And that is how I got started. I didn't write the book first. I believe I started my website first and then published my book. So any thought I had, I started publishing it on the website. And then I started gathering those and putting into that book and published the book. So doesn't mean you have to have a website in order to publish a book. No, not at all. But if you have a blog or a site, you can keep on adding different ideas, different thoughts, different articles, and a different perspective to some problems that you may be able to solve for people and help people that way. And this way, you may start gaining a follower or two slowly but surely. So over time, you will become a trusted name with people. And this is what I recommend. I do not recommend building a site just to make $10, $15, $20. I recommend you build a site where you provide good and valuable content to people, and over time you become an expert in that subject, and that way you can help a lot more people over the time, and it will be rewarding for you at the end. And I will have links and more detailed information as to how you can get a website going. But when I got started, I didn't know how to build a website. I have a little bit of idea now as to how to build a website. It will not look professional, but I can get one done but I will not do one because, as I said, it will not look good. So what I do is I go to a hosting company and buy a hosting account. A hosting account typically costs, I believe, anywhere from $50 to $100 a year, and then buy a domain name, which is around $10 a year, and that's it. Once you buy those two, you're set. You can hire a website designer, anywhere from a couple of $100 to $500, and have them build you a site. All you do is give them idea what you're trying to do, and you may find some websites that you like, and you can tell them, hey, look, I like these 5 sites, and they talk about this. It may not be the similar site that you're building, but you can give them idea that I like my layout to look like this websites, and I want to talk about this. I want this color to be like this, and they will build you one. And all you do is write that content and go onto that website and copy paste and say publish, and you're done. So it's not difficult. You don't have to be a computer science pro or any type of other pro. Anybody can copy paste and hit the button publish because the website is already ready for you. So, and most websites nowadays are very user friendly. You log in, you hit add new post and copy paste the information that you want to publish, and there is a button that says publish, and you hit publish and you're done. So you can get yourself out there and make some affiliate income at the same time under $500-$600. And I know some of you may have a lot more questions about affiliate income. And as I said, it is a vast topic. I can talk 3-4 hours just on this topic, but I'm not going to do so because some of you may not be interested in that. So I just wanted to throw these seeds of ideas in your head, whichever sticks in your head. If you need to learn more, you can read the book and then you can do further research, or you can send me questions. If I know about this, I will help you. But I know there are experts out there that know a lot more than what I know. Okay, moving on. Number 5 is blogging. And I know I just covered under affiliate income, I was talking about niche site, and then I spoke about how you can have your site of your own where you will discuss something that you're passionate about. And that is what blogging is all about. And that is the difference between a niche site, meaning a person that's in this business of affiliate income can have 20 to 30 niche sites that they have no passion for, but they're there to make money. As I said, if you may have a niche site about best fishing rods, these are very specific topics, then you may have a website about specific gardening tools. You may have a website about a specific type of baking cakes. These are very specific topics, and once you have those sites, you only have 3-4 articles published in that site. So you're not working every day to publish something and working on that site often. You're setting it up once with some good information and having Google run their ad, and you're putting some affiliate links of whoever that is, Amazon or anybody else that are selling those equipments or tools, and hoping people will come, read and click and buy. And a lot of times I haven't had that, but I know some people where they have some of these niche sites that they go every 2 months and add something and forget about it. They make $300-$400 every month from ad revenue and affiliate income, clicks. But number 5, this blogging is what I just spoke about under affiliate income, which is if you're passionate about something, start a blog. Again, it could be anything that you're passionate about, from collecting stamps to gardening to baking, anything, or fishing for that matter. And you add content, you add information to that site often, not every day, not every week. It may be every 2 weeks, maybe whenever you feel like it. It could be 3 times a month, 5 times a month, sometimes none at all in a whole month. And then you come back and you add more the next month. It becomes a blog that's keeping your information, providing value to people over time. These are the sites that make more money over time than those niche sites, because those niche sites are primarily targeted towards people to sell and have them click on links. But your site primary goal is to provide value to people. So once people realize that you're there to add value to their life and you're there to educate them, they will trust you more than those niche sites. So anything you provide them with, they will trust you and they will follow those, and you will make more money at the end. If making money is your primary goal, if adding value is your goal, then the income becomes a byproduct of that value. So whatever it is, you will still see some money coming your way over time. And in my opinion, instead of building niche sites, I recommend to build a blog that you can put your heart and soul into and talk about anything and everything that you're passionate about. And soon enough, you will have some followers that share the same passion as you do, and you can build a community. But the reason I like affiliate income, because it's a win-win situation. Let's say I provided you with a link for a sign that is for sale on Amazon. Let's say every one of us used that open sign in our gas station, and I saw that sign on Amazon and I said, hey, this is an LED sign, only costs $30, and I've been using it for the last 7 months and it still is bright enough, so I think I should recommend this to my readers, and you go buy that sign. So what am I doing? I'm adding value to your business because I have used something that I realize it's good for your business as it was good for mine. So I'm adding value to your business, but at the same token, I made 6% or 5% commission from Amazon without costing you any more money. Let's say you would have found that sign by yourself and you'd have bought that sign for $30 from Amazon. Amazon wouldn't have paid anybody any money. But if you followed my link, you still would have paid that $30, not more. So in return, I would get a little bit of commission out of that. So it's a win-win situation for both parties. So you will not have to feel guilty that, hey, since I recommended, he paid more and I made the extra money. That's not the case here. Your readers will pay the same money as they would pay anyway, but you would just get a commission out of it. Number 6 is apps or application for Android phone, for Apple phone or iPhone, and for iPads. We call them apps, right? You know, these apps are built by people like me and you. And no, we're not programmers, but we're business people. And most apps are owned by business people like me and you. I have never gotten to this business, but I've tried once. I tried to build an app for fuel price projections. What I tried to do is I was looking to link with the crude oil prices for the day, and which would reflect if our fuel prices, the street prices, meaning the price we pay to the jobbers, will be going up or down. So it will be a projection. Because, our fuel prices, if you're in gas station business, our fuel prices go up and down every day when we buy from jobbers. So if I can predict a day ahead that based on the crude prices and based on few other factors as well, not just crude prices, the prices of the gold, prices of heating oil and such, there are a lot of factors that makes this crude price go up and down. In return, that crude price can change your fuel prices. So I was trying to build an app linking to all of those and creating a formula where it would predict if the prices of fuel will be going up or down the next day, so you can make your buying decision based on those. But I failed in doing so because in order for you to build this app, I needed the link to some of these other information, which some of those were not available to link to. I hired a programmer. I believe there was a group of programmers, a company that I hired from India. And after about 3 months, which I only paid them a minimum fee at that point because I told them that this is what I want and this is how it should be laid out. And I didn't create the formula, but I told them that this is how it should work. I gave them a general idea and they drew up that map. And then when they went to get those links from those companies, some of them were not available the way these programmers wanted them to. So at the end, it did not work out. I only lost, I believe, about $300. But apps used to be very good business. And if you can create a good one, it is still a very much money-making proposition. To give you an example, remember the Angry Bird app or the silly I Fart app that came out in 2008. Now, that Angry Bird app is still available, still very popular. And that app itself is valued at $200 million as of today. And as I said, that silly I Fart app has generated, from 2008 till now, it has generated over $2 million in sales. So you see, somebody came up with this silly idea, and I believe they just went to a programmer and said, this is what I want to do. And over last 7-8 years, they made $2 million just out of selling that silly app. But now Angry Bird, on the other hand, is a much bigger app. And I'm sure it's a group of developers and programmers that work tirelessly. And look at the payout, $200 million valuation. So there are apps that you can create. And again, you may have an idea for an app that I don't have. And you can create an app because you don't have to be a programmer to create one. As long as you have an idea, you can hire somebody from freelancer.com or Odesk, or there are many sites that you can go and hire, run an advertisement, hire somebody, have them develop an app, put it on sale at Android Marketplace and Apple Marketplace, and you will see them selling every day and you will be making money. But again, it's not simple as you can imagine. You have to do a lot of research before you can create one. Let's say you have an idea of an app. There are recipe ads. There are different types of ads. Let's say, again, I'm going to bring up baking. If you're good with baking pound cakes and you thought about building an app for a recipe calculator, make sure you go to Apple's Marketplace and Android's Marketplace and see how many apps are available there that are similar to yours. Then figure out what would make yours stand out from the crowd. And if you see that you have an idea that nobody else is doing right now, then be that idea as the main selling point of your app. It's called the USP, the unique selling proposition. Anytime you build something like this or you create something like this, you need to think about what is the USP or what is the unique selling proposition of your content. What would make it unique? That would make the product sell better than others. Once you figure that out, you should be on your way to a successful app business. Now, moving on to number 7. Number 7 is YouTube. You may be wondering, what is about YouTube? Well, it is the second biggest search engine. And if you're like me, there are a lot of things I go to YouTube to see how things are being done. For example, I'm trying to learn a new program called Scrivener for writers. It's like Microsoft Word, but again, nothing like Microsoft Word. It's a platform for writers. It helps you to organize your thoughts and publish a book. It's much easier than Microsoft Word. But once you learn the program, what I gathered is it becomes much easier. All you do is write a paragraph and leave it there and then write another one, and then you can bring those together and put them side by side and see which one flows after what and how the chapters are being laid out. It will help you with every step of the way. But it's very hard to learn that program. I've been trying. So what I'm doing is I'm going to YouTube to watch those videos on how to use Scriveners. And whenever I need gardening help, I go to YouTube. Whenever I need cooking help, I go to YouTube. So everything that we need to learn, there are times we all go to YouTube's. But have you ever thought, why do people put these videos on YouTube? What is their benefit? Well, the benefit is money. If a video has been watched over certain number of times, then YouTube will start sharing revenue with you. You may ask, what revenue? Have you remembered that whenever you watch a video on YouTube, there most likely is an ad at the beginning or in the middle or at the end. These videos or this ad is a ad that is done by a company that's paid money to YouTube to show those ads in front of a relevant video. So if I'm watching a video about how to use Scriveners, there must be, or most likely, there will be an ad that's relevant to what I'm watching. Nowadays, most ads are smart ads, meaning whatever you're searching, they will show an ad relevant to what you're searching. And YouTube has decided that, hey, since your video brought this person to our website and they're watching the video, if enough people watch that, I will start sharing revenue with you. So if your video only was watched 5 times in the last 2 months, you will not see any money from YouTube. But let's say your video was watched 20 or 30,000 times a month. I'm sure you'll be getting a paycheck, or not a paycheck. You'll get a revenue check, revenue percentage share check from YouTube every month. We do not think about any of that when we watch those videos, but I want you to think about it. If you, as I said, are good with anything, and if you can record those, you don't have to have a professional recording studio for this. Most people use iPhones nowadays or Android, because nowadays most phones have very good cameras, 5 megapixel cameras or 6 megapixel cameras. Most of these phones can record in HD. So you have very good quality recording from a phone. And you can upload those videos and have a channel just for yourself. These are all free. You don't have to pay YouTube for any of these. You can open an account for free. You can create a channel for free and start uploading your videos and link those videos to your, let's say, Facebook, and tell people that, hey, I put up a video on such and such, you go watch it. Once enough people watch those videos, you can have a decent income coming just from YouTube. Moving on to the last one, which is prescription card. Now, this is an offline money-making gig, and I found out about this about 2 years ago. This is something similar to MLM, which is multi-level marketing, but not really. In some ways, it is similar. That's why I brought up the word MLM, but I will describe what it is. It is a prescription benefit card. It looks like a business card. It has some numbers and it has big letters that says it is a prescription benefit card. People that do not have health insurance can take one of these cards, and when doctors prescribe them medicines, they can take this card to the pharmacy and get a discount on the medicines that they're buying. So let's say, for example, I found out recently, about a year and a half ago, and that's when I became a agent for this company, when my father's glaucoma medication wasn't covered by insurance, and we were buying each bottle eye drops for about $110 each. That lasted him about a month. And one day a friend of mine gave me this card and said, why don't you try this? And I tried it, and the price of that medicine dropped from $100 and some to about $47. And I was amazed. So I told him that I would like to become an agent for that. And he was happy, so he provided me with the information. And I became an agent for about $75. I paid them to print me business cards and flyers and whatnot. So the whole package arrived in about 2 weeks. And I started putting some of these business cards that they provided me with. Plus, they gave me some small racks that you can put those business cards in different countertops. So what I did is I went to different gas stations and just put some of these cards everywhere, about 20 different places. And funny thing is, from next month, I started seeing about $25, $30, $40, $50 a month in income. So anytime anybody used those cards, they get a discount and I get a commission out of it. And this is something extremely passive. And I wanted to share that with you because if you're in gas station business, you know there are a lot of people come through those doors. And if you can put a small business card holder with few business cards in them that says prescription benefit card, people will pick one up and they will take it to their pharmacy and get a discount because, people still are not insured all the way as far as health insurance goes. Even with Obamacare, there are a lot of people out there that do not have adequate health insurance. But people do get sick and they do have to buy medicine. So I'm helping them, and in return, I'm being helped by commissional income. So as I said, it's not giving me hundreds of dollars, but even though I have met a lady that says she makes over $5,000 a month from this because she has taken it as a full-time job. All she does is goes to different stores, different doctor's office, and different venues and places and puts her cards and offers her services, meaning she also attracts more people to join this. Where, remember I said it's an MLM? This is where I said it's MLM, meaning if anybody she hires or recruits and they sell or they give out these prescription cards on their name, just because this lady recruited that person, this lady will get 0.5% commission on anything and everything that person sells. So basically it goes about 4 or 5 down, meaning 5 more people downwards that she can hire, she will get a commission out of it. So she's making commission for what she's doing. She's making commission for everybody she hired or recruited so far, and the people that those people recruited. So it's a very good income for some people if you can take this seriously. I have not so far. As I said, I put it in about 20 different places. And the highest I think I've seen was about $75 a month income. And average is about 50, 55. And I think it's a pretty decent income based on I just spent $75 and that's it. I didn't do anything else. I haven't tried to recruit anybody. And this is the first time I'm talking about it. But there will be a link on my site about this. So if you want to try this, you can try it and just follow that link that I provided. And yes, I will be a recruiter for you this way if you follow that link. But that does not mean you will make any less money, because somebody has to recruit you. And if you follow that link, I will be that recruiter. So I believe there will be some commission that I will make from your sales. I just passed the hour marker a few minutes ago, so I don't need to go over any farther. But I believe I covered pretty much all the ideas I wanted to cover. But as I said, these are the seeds of ideas that I wanted to share. And most of these I did not share in much detail. Some of these I have tried, as I said, and some I did not. So if you are more interested in learning about what I have talked about today, make sure to read that book that I will be sending out for free. And then if you become more interested in learning, you can either email me and I will link you to some people that are very knowledgeable in some specific topics. Or you can do online searches, and I'm sure you will find hundreds of thousands of people that are doing this, and some of them are providing good content, good advice, and good value. Okay, as I said, we're at the end of the show. So this week's the book that I want to recommend is obviously the one that I published myself recently. If you recall 2 episodes ago, I told you that I was working on a book that I was about to publish. Well, I finally published it about 3-4 days ago. And this book is called Sales Genie, Retail Marketing 101. And I'm happy that I finally got the book out. And I hope that some of the people that will read the book will benefit from it. And most of these things that are in the book, I've already spoken about in previous episodes, as far as how to improve your business, how to market, how to reduce your expenses, and at the same time maximize your profit. But this book is where I gathered all those thoughts and process and put it all together in a way that it makes sense. Because I know those episodes, as I said, it's limited to 45-50 minutes that I do, and I don't want to go too much over that. So I do not talk in extents about a lot of these things, but in that book, I gathered most of these thoughts, and I went and explained pretty much everything the way it should be. And I brought in a lot of examples from my own gas stations. So even though it's a book about retail business, But I brought examples from gas station business. And again, that's a retail, but my focus was for the whole retail business and not just gas station this time. So every retail business can benefit from it. I wanted to focus on the idea of how to increase retail sales by 25% in just 60 days. In previous episodes, I covered a lot about what I talked about in this book, as I said. But my goal was to, if we can achieve 25% increase in 60 days. I know it's possible. I have done it before, and I talk about that in the book. And I know if the process is followed the right way, anybody can do it. But to achieve that goal, the process has to be followed all the way through. Once again, don't forget to join my Facebook group so we can discuss everything under the sun about retail business. Also, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter at gasstationbusiness101.com/subscribe. Make sure to do it soon because I will be emailing every subscriber the new book about affiliate income, and I know you will enjoy reading it and finding out more facts about what we talked about today. Once again, thank you for spending the time with me and listening to me, and I hope I'm adding some value to your business. The next episode, I'm still working on it, but I believe I will be able to bring you an episode, probably the next one, about investment visa category and how to buy a gas station business with those. I've been getting a lot of emails regarding the investment category visa. So I'm doing a lot of research on that. And hopefully the next episode, I will be able to bring those information for our listeners that are in other countries other than the US. So hopefully I will be able to do that in next episode. If not, it will be the following episode. So please stay tuned. For now, take good care of yourself and I will talk to you soon.
This has been the one and only Gas Station Business 101 podcast with your host, Shabir Hossain. This podcast was brought to you by CSB Academy Publishing Company. Be sure to join us next time as we share with you the secrets about how to start and operate a gas station business successfully and make money.